On the silver screen, she was the embodiment of immortal allure, with captivating eyes and a mysterious beauty that defied all definitions. Marlene Dietrich, that name is synonymous with dazzling glamour, powerful masculine suits, and an unshakable confidence. But have you ever stopped to wonder, behind that shimmering velvet curtain, what did that haughty woman conceal? Was her heart truly as unyielding as she wished the world to believe? Now, the veil of mystery is gradually being lifted, revealing heart-wrenching personal sorrows and silent sacrifices she endured, especially during the darkest years of the Second World War. Join us as we uncover the story of an icon who paid a heavy price for her glory and ideals. Marlene Dietrich, an eternal icon. On the silver screen, she was the very embodiment of undying allure, with captivating eyes and a mysterious beauty that defied all definitions. Marlene Dietrich. That name conjures images of glittering glamour, powerful masculine suits, and an unshakable confidence. From Berlin to Hollywood, she redefined concepts of beauty and femininity, becoming a style icon far ahead of her time. She pioneered blurring gender lines with sharp tuxedos and fedoras, enchanting and earning the admiration of the entire world. However, behind the dazzling spotlight and endless praises, the pressure of fame was an immense burden. Marlene found herself trapped within the very perfect image she had created. The public yearned for a flawless icon, a woman who was always alluring and strong, never revealing any weakness. This demanded that she constantly perform, even in her daily life, maintaining a proud and indifferent facade. The relentless scrutiny from the media was also a constant torment. Every action, even every private gesture, was dissected, leading to a deep sense of isolation, even though she was always surrounded by admirers. That loneliness wasn't a lack of people by her side, but a lack of private space where she could truly be herself. Behind her haughty gaze lay hidden fears: fear of old age, fear of losing her beauty, fear of no longer being adored. The pressure to constantly prove her worth became a considerable psychological burden. She spent her entire life building a strong fortress around herself, shielding the fragility within. Marlene Dietrich was a magnificent icon, but the price she paid for that greatness was loneliness, relentless pressure, and a persistent inner struggle. The mystery she cultivated wasn't just a publicity strategy. It was also a protective shield, concealing her pain and wounds. And it was during history's most trying period, the Second World War, that these pains, along with her extraordinary courage, truly shaped the real Marlene Dietrich. Personal torments. Though admired by the whole world as an untouchable goddess, Marlene Dietrich was in reality a soul full of cracks, wrestling with countless personal sorrows that she strenuously tried to conceal behind her alluring facade. These pains, though hidden, gnawed at her from within, shaping her in the deepest ways. Behind her aloof exterior, Dietrich yearned for love and connection, yet her life was filled with complex relationships and ultimately profound loneliness. She married Rudolf Sieber and had a daughter, Maria Riva. However, this marriage quickly became a peculiar arrangement. They lived apart but never divorced, maintaining a close friendship. Meanwhile, Dietrich engaged in countless romantic liaisons with both men and women, from co-stars like Gary Cooper and Jean Gabin to great writers like Ernest Hemingway. These relationships often brought her intense passion, but also instability and heartbreak. She sought love and understanding, but the fame and nomadic lifestyle of a global star made lasting bonds difficult. Maria Riva, her daughter, in her shocking memoir, painted a portrait of a contradictory mother, someone who was both loving and controlling, talented yet selfish. The complex relationship with her daughter, with expectations and pressures from both sides, became a constant source of tension and sorrow in Dietrich's life. The emotional distance from her own flesh and blood further intensified the sense of isolation for a woman always in the spotlight. The pressure to maintain a perfect image was a terrifying obsession for Dietrich. In Hollywood, beauty and youth were invaluable assets, and she fought relentlessly to preserve them. She was haunted by age, by wrinkles, by any sign of aging that could threaten her career and standing. To uphold her ageless appearance, Dietrich underwent numerous cosmetic surgeries, adhered to strict diets, and engaged in extreme exercise regimens. Every public appearance was a burden demanding meticulous preparation from costume and makeup to expression. The public image of a perpetually perfect, haughty, and flawless Marlene Dietrich became a gilded cage imprisoning her in constant tension. She was not allowed to be weak, not allowed to age, not allowed to be an ordinary person with imperfections. This led to a deep fear of loss, losing her beauty, losing her career, losing public admiration, and ultimately losing the very self she had so carefully constructed. After the peak of her career, especially as old age set in, these pains intensified. Dietrich gradually withdrew from the limelight, living a reclusive life in Paris, and eventually within her apartment. Gnawing loneliness, coupled with alcoholism and illness, pushed her into a deep state of depression. Phone calls became her only link to the outside world, and she frequently refused all visits, unwilling for anyone to see her in a state of decline. This decline was not solely due to age or illness. It was the culmination of a life spent tirelessly fighting to maintain an unrealistic image, while simultaneously bearing the pain of loss, separation, and misunderstanding. Dietrich's personal suffering is a powerful testament to how much emotional scarring glamour can conceal, and that even the greatest icons are not exempt from inner turmoil. What she endured was not just the burden of a star, but also the pain of an ordinary human being yearning to be loved and accepted. The greatest pain, the cross of war. If the pressures of glamour and personal life were simmering pains, then World War II became the greatest cross Marlene Dietrich had to bear, while also revealing her extraordinary courage and unwavering determination. This was a tragic and epic chapter where a captivating icon transformed into a warrior enduring deep personal losses for an ideal. Born in Germany, Marlene Dietrich stood at a fateful crossroads when Nazism rose to power. Hitler's government repeatedly tried to lure her back, wanting to make her a propaganda symbol for the Third Reich. Enticing invitations, promises of a prestigious position in German cinema, even from Adolf Hitler himself, were continuously sent. But Dietrich, with a conscience and vision far beyond material temptations, resolutely refused them all. This act was not merely a career decision, it was a brave political defiance, for refusing Hitler at that time meant putting herself in grave danger. In 1939, as a forceful declaration of her stance, she renounced her German citizenship and officially became an American citizen. This was a shocking act, leading the Nazi regime to label her a traitor and relentlessly slander her. Losing her homeland, being ostracized by fellow countrymen who once admired her, was a terrible personal pain for an artist. However, she accepted that price. Not only that, she also secretly participated in helping Jews and dissidents escape Germany, using her money and connections to support them, transforming personal abandonment into acts of profound human kindness. When the United States entered World War II, Marlene Dietrich did not hesitate to set aside her career and life to participate in the Allied war effort. She became one of the first and most active celebrities in the United Service Organization's USO tours, performing directly for troops on the front lines. From the dusty deserts of North Africa to the frozen battlefields in Italy, France, the Netherlands, and even Germany, she ventured into the most dangerous areas, frequently performing under shelling. She did not live in luxurious hotels, but slept in tents, faced harsh weather, lacked sanitary conditions, and was often tormented by ailments like chilblains and influenza. When asked why she did it, she simply replied, "Out of decency." Each of Dietrich's performances was an invaluable spiritual tonic for weary and exhausted soldiers. She sang, she told jokes, she conversed, and even mended their clothes. Her song, Lily Marlene, though originally a German song, became a beloved anthem of hope and homesickness across all fronts, helping her connect deeply with her soldiers. Her presence not only brought joy, but also reminded them of the values they were fighting to protect. Near-death experiences, witnessing the brutality of war and the suffering of soldiers, haunted Dietrich for the rest of her life. Those images were deeply imprinted in her mind, contributing to the depression and mental breakdown she faced later on. Although Dietrich's contributions were recognized by the U.S. and French governments with the highest honors such as the U.S. Presidential Medal of Freedom and the French Legion of Honor, she faced another pain from her homeland. Upon returning to Germany after the war, a segment of the population still considered her a traitor, leading to division and protests. Despite sacrificing her career reputation and nearly her life for the anti-fascist ideal, she did not receive full acceptance from some. This was a deep emotional wound, making her never truly feel she belonged anywhere. Marlene Dietrich won on screen and on the battlefield, but the war with personal pains, with misunderstanding, and the psychological after-effects of war was the most silent, longest battle. It is a testament to a great woman not only for her talent, but also for her boundless courage and noble sacrifices, shaping a complex yet deeply moving legacy. The truth finally revealed. So how did Marlene Dietrich's hidden sorrows, those veiled corners of her soul, come to light after decades of mystery? The answer lies in a compilation of various sources, from personal notes to in-depth academic studies, all of which have collectively painted a fuller, more authentic portrait of this extraordinary woman. The most valuable source of insight into Dietrich's inner life likely comes from Maria Riva, her only daughter. Riva's memoir, Marlene Dietrich, published in 1992 after Dietrich's passing, sent shockwaves through the public. In it, Riva not only recounted stories about her famous mother, but also frankly revealed the hidden facets, the contradictions, the controlling nature, and even the emotional scars she endured while growing up in the shadow of a superstar. Though controversial regarding its objectivity, this book remains one of the most crucial documents, offering the most genuine glimpse into Dietrich through the eyes of the person closest to her. Alongside this, Dietrich's personal letters, exchanged with friends, colleagues, and especially lovers such as Ernest Hemingway or Jean Gabin, also served as a treasure trove, unveiling her deepest emotions and thoughts. In those private lines, she revealed her vulnerabilities, her loneliness, and her anxieties about life aspects she rarely displayed in public. These letters allow us to peer through her elegant facade to touch a vulnerable soul. Furthermore, accounts from Dietrich's assistants, managers, and close friends, though merely small pieces of the puzzle, also contributed to a more complete picture. These were the people who directly witnessed her everyday life, the moments when she shed her star persona and returned to her true self. In recent decades, film historians, biographers, and scholars have undertaken numerous new studies on Marlene Dietrich. They have not only relied on older documents, but also delved into previously unreleased archives, interviewed surviving witnesses, and more deeply analyzed the socio-cultural context in which Dietrich lived. These works often present a more multifaceted, balanced view, not solely focusing on the glamour, but also exploring the motivations, pressures, and pains that shaped Dietrich as a person. They help us better understand the reasoning behind her decisions, particularly during the Second World War. Marlene Dietrich was not just a film star or a legendary singer. She was a case study in human complexity, a mirror reflecting the burdens of fame and the noble sacrifices made for ideals. Her journey from a mysterious and alluring icon to a woman who faced countless personal heartaches has taught us more than the films or songs she left behind. Marlene Dietrich's life prompts us to ponder. Does the glamour and admiration of the world truly bring complete happiness? Is it perhaps that the greatest individuals often carry the profoundest pains as a price for their extraordinary stature? She taught us a profound lesson about the difference between the image we present to the outside world and the turbulent inner self. Sometimes it is precisely the invisible scars, the unspoken pains that shape us to be stronger, more resilient. Marlene Dietrich's life affirms that courage lies not only in glorious victories on the battlefield, but also in the ability to confront personal fears, loneliness, and even the world's judgment. These revelations about Marlene Dietrich's personal sufferings do not diminish her glamour. On the contrary, they have made her legacy more vivid, humane, and profound than ever. She was not merely an ageless beauty, a unique style icon, but a flesh-and-blood human being with emotional wounds and astonishing resilience. Dietrich teaches us that even those who seem the strongest carry burdens, and that true courage is often found in moments when one must confront one's greatest fears. Marlene Dietrich will forever remain an icon, not only for her artistic contributions, but also for the indomitable spirit of a woman who lived, fought, and sacrificed for what she believed in, even when it meant facing unspoken pains and misunderstandings from the world. Her story serves as a reminder that behind every dazzling light, there is a person with their own struggles, and it is precisely these hidden aspects that truly define their greatness. So, dear audience, after exploring this moving and complex story, what about Marlene Dietrich impressed you most deeply? Do you think that famous people today also bear similar burdens under the glare of fame? Please share your thoughts and feelings in the comments section below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on other fascinating and meaningful stories from us.